going on? What's going on, y'all? I'm gonna talk to y'all for a minute. Let me talk to the people for a minute. Straight to the point. Sports and entertainment. Hope everybody's feeling good. We definitely got to talk about this, okay? I know YouTube has not been sending out notifications, but nevertheless, we still gonna grind. Still gonna do our thing. Please hit the like when you come through the door. What's up, Ted? I see you in here, bro. See you in here first, man. Please share this video. Get this video out. Kick it out in the algorithm for me, okay? Because they haven't been sending out a lot of the LDBC brothers notifications, okay? So uh, please get this video out for me, okay? Um, Hope everybody's feeling pretty good. Um, Friday, feel good Friday, and we about to get the playoffs kicked off. Heavily anticipated playoff. I know that's what everybody's anticipating, all these matchups that's been going on too. Um, that's what everybody's talking about. Uh, but we also got some stuff that we also got to cook on concerning basketball, and there's a situation right now, and we got to definitely see how this plays out. Okay. Um, okay, look. In case you haven't heard the news, okay, the brother of Michael Porter Jr., Coban Porter, has been sentenced to 6 years in prison. This is stemming from it was an accident that happened in January. Uh, DWI ended up killing a lady by the name of Kathy Rothman. If that's her name, she was 42 years old. What he did is he ended up running a red light and striking uh, the car, and ended up unfortunately taking her life and injuring the other passenger. Now, what's interesting about this situation is that he said that, there's nothing. If he could do everything that he could to right the wrong, he would, but he said he's sorry that there's nothing that he can do. Okay, and I'm gonna talk about that in just a second. And then, of course, Michael Porter Jr.'s other brother, Jontay, I just reported that. I reported that on my Straight Sixes news channel. Please sub up to my Straight Sixes news channel. I only have two more subs until I could go live, so then I could go ahead and drop, some live content on there too. But I reported that on there, and Jontay Porter, as you know, who is also the brother of Michael Porter Jr., part of the Porter family, their basketball family. He had been banned a lifetime. He received a lifetime ban for uh, pretty much point shaving and gambling, and betting on games. So here's my thing about it. All right, now I brought up Michael Porter Jr. Okay, you said Michael Porter Jr. game. Okay, and I'm gonna talk about that right now. I bring this up, man, because this is a situation where going into the playoffs, this was kind of a situation I would say that Patrick Mahomes was experiencing too. Maybe not to the extent of what these guys are going, or what Michael Porter Jr. is going through in terms of his brother, or the severity of what's happening. But nevertheless, there's still some sort of adversity that he's fighting. It was with the DUI. You're right, and that's why I said it. But it's still not to that severity. Now, it was similar because when you talk about the DUI, you talk about drinking and driving. Pat Mahomes Sr. had actually, this wasn't his first time. He had his run-ins with the same type of charge several times before. Okay, so and then also here recently, I think like a month or two ago, he was facing jail time too as well. But I say that because Patrick Mahomes and Michael Porter Jr. are kind of going through the same situation. You have Patrick Mahomes getting ready to play the biggest game of his life as we talk about the Super Bowl, okay? And then you have Michael Porter Jr. getting ready to it. While it might not be the biggest game of his life, this series, there's a lot riding on this series because you're playing against, some would say, as a rival because of what happened last season, okay? And the Lakers want their get back. And it's interesting because I want to give a shout out to the brother Ticket TV. He brought up something that was very key. These people that are in these stands, the fans, everybody that's in there, they're going to use anything that they can to prey on your psyche to try to get that extra edge just so that they could get the win. And like Ted was just saying, like you were just saying, man, his game might be thrown off because of it. But as I told the brother Kareem earlier, okay, shout out to Kareem, um, the Kareem Report. Go sub to his channel. I told him that Michael Porter Jr. can use this as motivation, okay? Because we know what people are going to be saying, okay? Now, there are a lot of people that frown upon both betting on games, but more importantly, a lot of people frown on DWI, DUI, drinking and driving, because a lot of people have unfortunately lost uh, people that are near and dear to them because of drunk driving, because of car accidents or what have you. And that's just something that people can't get over. Yeah, he's gonna have to play through it. You know, if if Michael Porter Jr. can learn from any situation, he would have to learn from a guy like a Kobe Bryant who had to go through, a similar situation. And in this situation, this was regarding something that a lot of people frown on when we talk about, uh, the R word, okay, in which he was accused of doing, right? And so you had race involved in that situation, and then you had people saying all types of stuff to Kobe or whatnot, and he had to go to Denver, had to play in a hostile environment. People were saying God knows what to this man, and Kobe was clearly unfazed by it and still was able to go out there, still perform. And that's what Michael Porter Jr. He's gonna have to do. He's gonna have to rise to the occasion. Yeah, Kobe was still dropping 30. Sometimes Kobe was dropping 40, 50, and 60. It didn't matter. But the thing about it is in this situation right here, we have to talk about the irresponsibility of both of his brothers. Okay, and it's like I was telling. You said fans were calling Kobe the N word to his face and still dropping 50. Yeah, yeah, and let's just call it what it is. You know, in places like Denver and places like Utah and places like that, you know, those fans are, you know, very unforgiving. Even in Boston, you know, and we're talking about back in the day, Boston, when we talk about the stuff that they were doing to a guy like Bill Russell, what they were doing in the hotel room and stuff like that. Something that I'm not going to get into. You just do your research. Everybody knows what happened, though. Uh, but the irresponsibility of his brothers is, I would be very, very disappointed. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be angry too at the same token. But at the same token, he's gonna have to go ahead and maintain his composure in this situation. Okay, that's the only thing that he can do, because if anybody sees him losing his cool, then that's when the people have won. The accuser was a 304, but she had her complexion for protection. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I'm not gonna lie to you. When I saw that situation, I was like, I ain't gonna lie. R.I.P. to the Mamba, but I was like, Mamba, what were you thinking, man? Like, I know it was consensual, but man, you went from Vanessa to that. But anyways, man, I'm not gonna get into that. R.I.P. to Kobe. You know, he was able to get through that situation. But my whole point is that in any type of adversity, then you have the whole situation that happened with Isaiah Thomas in that situation where he lost his sister. You know what I'm saying, during the postseason, and having to play, in a playoff game and stuff, and still having to go ahead and perform. Um, After probably the most tragic day, and depending on how you look at it, the way that she went out of his life. Yeah, yeah, I know, man. But these brothers right here made terrible, terrible decisions. Here you have one guy in Jontay Porter, who clearly knows the rules and everything. And at first, I was like, "Ah, man, you're being a little harsh," because I looked at the referees. I looked at um, I looked at the referees that bet on games and stuff like that. Donahue and stuff. I looked on that when we talk about sports gambling and stuff, and sports betting, and in game betting and stuff between the players and stuff. I looked on that and point shaving and stuff like that. And at first I was like, man, nah, I think that's a little bit too harsh. But then I got to thinking, I was like, this guy wasn't even a main player. He was barely got any burn. He was getting garbage time, and you're putting your team is already not even in position, and it makes you wonder. Okay, not to say that the Raptors we're going to do anything, but then again, we really don't know. But you really didn't give your team much of a chance either, especially if you're doing stuff like that. And then we don't know how long you've been doing it. We don't know. You just ended up getting caught. You know what I'm saying? And you could have been doing it. You could have been doing it even before the NBA. You know what I'm saying? That's how we got to look at things. So if you were doing it on this stage or whatever, we can only imagine what you were doing before you had got to the NBA and stuff. And then on top of that, check this out, right? When when we look at this situation that happened with the DWI and Coban, um, when he ran that red light, and then he ended up killing that lady. You know, that right there, man, is something that he'll never be able to erase because I want to send the condolences out to the victim's family that unfortunately lost her life. You know what I'm saying? She was still a young woman. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't young, but she was only 42 years old. That's still relatively young. She had to end up taking her life, end up getting her life taken, and this guy is gonna have to pay the price for it. Now, he ended up messing up throwing his career down the drain, pretty much. And for a decision in which he was to my recollection, he was 2 times over the normal limit. Okay, he was 2 times over the normal limit as it pertains to what the drinking limit was. And 6 years, 6 years to a guy that has never done any prison time, it might seem like a lifetime. Okay, so we got to look at this situation right here, and we got to say to ourselves, okay, everybody wants to sit up here and they're going to be like, what's wrong with the Porter family, stuff like that. But yeah, 6 years. Listen, some people might be like, 6 years, that ain't nothing or something like that. But to somebody that is not used to being on the streets, not used to serving time, not used to being incarcerated in any type of facility, man, you got to be crazy. Nah, nah, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening, Ted. He's gonna have to do it. What you? My wife came home. Oh man, all right. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Salute to you, Angelo Bell. That's what I like to hear. Shout out to you, Angelo Bell, man. Yes, that's good news, man. That's good news, man. Prayers up. I hope she continue to have a speedy recovery, man. God bless. God bless, man. But the thing about it is, yeah, great news, man. Shout out to Angelo Bell, man, and your family, bro. Shout out, and look, man, I get on here, man, and I talk about sports, but you also know, man, I'm gonna talk about life. We gonna dig deep into life. We're gonna talk about life, and we're gonna have some tough conversations. And the conversation that we need to be having is how Michael Porter Jr. is going to be affected by this. And it's not just Michael Porter Jr., the whole Porter family. Because, look, I'm not down in the Porter family. And as the brother Ticket was saying earlier, shout out to Ticket TV. Shout out to Kareem, too. They were both talking about this. I'm a little late talking about this situation. But listen, the father and the mother and everybody that tried to guide them and steer them in the right direction, they can only do so much. Like, once you're a grown man, you are a grown man, and you make your own decisions, and there are consequences and repercussions to those decisions that you do make. Yeah, Nuggets teammates are going to be asked questions and stuff like that, but I really feel like the Nuggets will be mentally strong in this situation. This isn't the only situation that has happened in the NBA where where we think of guys, getting in trouble before the series. You got to think about it. Richard Dumas, everybody knows that Richard Dumas was having his troubles when it came to the when the situation was going on in Phoenix and stuff. He had a drinking problem, and not only that, he was having drug problems too. And then let's talk about Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman, for all the good things that he did, people were starting to worry about Dennis Rodman and his drinking getting out of hand or whatever. But the good thing is that Dennis Rodman was able to come get a day of rest or whatever and rebound the game. But they've had to do what they've had, what everybody was talking about, like, when it comes to like a guy like Draymond, they've actually told Rodman that, hey, it's affected the team. I'm talking about the Chicago Bulls. Right. Yeah, exactly. So you say, I think MPJ will be all right. He will block it out game time. Yeah, well, he has to. He has no choice but to. But when he goes to LA, they're not, and Ted knows, like anybody knows, being a Lakers fan, man, when you play in Los Angeles, when you play in New York, when you're playing in Boston, when you play in Miami, you're playing in Chicago, you're playing in these big cities, man, they will use anything they can. Shoot, pretty much anywhere. In any NBA arena, they're going to use anything that they can to try to get in your head. They're going to have all types of, uh, they might have mothers against drunk driving out there. They're going to have people saying, oh, yeah. And Michael Porter Jr. might have not even did anything. But the fact that that was your brother and that's your flesh and blood, they don't want any excuses. They feel like you did it. You play on eggshells playing in big markets. Absolutely. Absolutely. And look, man, I've always liked Michael Porter Jr. See, I like Michael Porter. Now, at first, I was like, I don't know about Michael Porter Jr., but then I've seen him. He was playing against Dennis Smith Jr. 1-on-1, and they were at like a camp or something like that, and that's when I really started to take notice of Michael Porter Jr. because the big question about Michael Porter Jr. was he able to just be just straight fundamentals? Could he mix it up and could he play loose? And he was able to do that. Michael Porter Jr. Could not only play a fundamental game, but he could also pan out, because that was the big thing about him and Dennis Smith Jr. Coming when he played against Dennis Smith Jr. Man, come on, man, what is that? But I think that Michael Porter Jr. is going to he's going to come out there. He's going to have to come out there, and he's going to have to just be aggressive. And look, this is the thing. It's not just with this series, too. It's, when they advance, people are still going to be talking about this. They're still going to be talking about this. Just like what I mentioned earlier when I was talking about Pat Mahomes. And they're going to try to put Michael Porter Jr. As if he was the one that did the drunk driving, as if he was the one that unfortunately took that lady's life, as if he was the one that was out there betting on games and stuff. MPJ on defense versus Reeves is key. Yeah, they need him, and he's a good rebounder too. I don't think a lot of people understand. Michael Porter Jr. is tall, man. A lot. You gotta realize Michael Porter Jr. is like 6'9". You know what I'm saying? You talking about Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. is, and when he gets hot, Michael Porter Jr. gets hot, man. Michael Porter Jr. gets hot. I've always been on Michael Porter Jr. Matter of fact, when he, there was a time when he was getting ready to leave Denver. And I was like, man, shoot, come to Philly. Come to Philly, because Michael Porter Jr. wanted to be that guy. He wanted to, he wanted to just be that alpha. You know what I'm saying, on the squad, and I like that mentality he had. But he's adapted to the role that he got. I thought MPJ and Ben Simmons was going to take over the NBA when they got to the league. I mean, he was going to do that. Michael Porter Jr. is still a phenomenal player, man. I don't want people to get it messed up. The thing about it is they're winning championships right now. You know what I'm saying? Like some guys would just rather just go ahead and win championships and stuff like that. But what do you want him to do? You want him to go into a situation where he gets stuck on the team and he spends like 8, 9, 10 seasons, you know what I'm saying, trying to be that guy, but never, really winning a ring or something like that. Whereas he gets to be in a situation where he can his game will still be respected, his game will still be revered. You know what I'm saying? Because he on any given night he could get you 20. You know what I'm saying? He could get you rebounds. He could be a hawk on defense. You know what I'm saying? He got athleticism. He could stretch the floor. He could handle the rock. He could pretty much do everything. You know, and he could still be himself and still get quality numbers and still be an asset. Whereas, and see, we can sit up here and act like the Denver Nuggets don't need MPJ. Yeah, he's a needed piece. I guarantee you, if they lost MPJ or he wasn't playing up to par, and I'm talking about on a consistent basis, the Nuggets wouldn't be. They would be competitive, but they wouldn't be as competitive as they are now. You said he remind you of a prime Klay Thompson. Man, you know what? I gotta think. Nah, because Klay Thompson wasn't the ball handler that MPJ is better at creating his shot, and I like Klay. Klay is my guy. Ted, it might be because they light skinned, huh? They both light skinned. They both 6'8". I think Michael Porter Jr. is like 6'9", 6'10" though. He's taller than he looks, man. I like, damn, he is like 6'9", 6'10". People think like, he's short. You know what I'm saying? Michael Porter Jr. and he could get up, man. Like, that's the thing. I was just, man, this dude could get up too. He'll get up and try, bang on you too. He athletic too. But I think that he's solid enough to go out there. He's got a mentality, he don't like to play around a lot, you know what I'm saying? Real serious, you know what I mean? I think his demeanor alone is gonna show that he's not fazed by the situation if he goes out there and does what he's supposed to do. You said Rui is the X factor for the Lakers versus the Nuggets. Yeah. Um Rui gotta be on the boards. Rui gotta, like I said, he's got to be he got to be that rebounder, man. And this is another thing too, man. Um, while we talk about the Lakers, right? You bring up a good point, Ted. Man, I keep saying it over and over again. The role players got to be locked in. If the role players aren't locked in and the role players are not doing what they're supposed to do, they're not going to be cooking with any type of grease at all. As a matter of fact, it's gonna be real easy for the Denver Nuggets to go ahead and figure them out really early. But if they play the game and they make it fast, they play at a up tempo, which will be, it'd be kind of difficult considering that they're in the mile high. I believe that the Lakers will have a chance. We need 60 points for. Woo! I don't know if y'all gonna get all that. I don't know if y'all gonna get on that, but if y'all do, that'll sure be a help because then that takes pressure off of what LeBron needs to do, and that takes pressure off of what AD needs to do. But either way, and it also falls on the health of AD too as well. I want them. You said 15 rebounds. Yeah, you definitely have a good chance. Listen, y'all have now your defense. I think y'all were ranked. Man, I think y'all was ranked like 22nd. I think it was in defense. He said I'm going to miss the first 3 games tomorrow because my 10 and 7-year-old got double header baseball. We will be home just in time for the Lakers and Nuggets. Okay, man. Good luck, man. Yeah, my son, man, he get ready to start his baseball season. I had to start him a little later. He gonna start like around the 9th, but I had to start him a little later this season because he didn't make the deadline or whatnot for a T-ball. So, but yeah, he getting ready to start his games too. And then my daughter, she gonna start soccer a little bit later too. Yeah, man. So yeah, this is a situation, man, that I wanted to talk about. Now, I also want to talk about and get your feedback on what you think about this Kawhi situation because reports have came out now that they are not. It's they're not sure about if Kawhi is going to play. Okay, I want to give a shout out to the brother Dreamers Pro because I saw him talking about this. At first, they were talking about he's having knee inflammation. Of course, he's having his knee drained and stuff. And you know, we know the history of Kawhi and his knee situation. However, having said all of that, Kawhi has, he's played, uh, 68 games. I think it was. He played a lot of games this season, and he was able to actually play a big percentage of the games that was necessary to where you could say, he wasn't doing all that load managing and stuff like that. Said my four-year-old be playing t-ball, he be out there fighting. He be yeah, man. They at that age, man. Cause my son is 5, man. I had my son playing base. He was playing basketball. Now he going from basketball to baseball. Yeah, at that age, man, they just they don't know. I mean, they know better. You know what I'm saying? But it just be about fun. You know what I'm saying? You know. But my son is competitive. He get mad if he don't get a trophy. Yeah, he be getting. My son is really 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 competitive, man. Like, they be racing in the car. Like, I'll tell you a story. You said sports on the pro level it's still fun. Look, my son and my daughter are so competitive, man. They be racing to the car to see who could put their seatbelt on the fastest. And they be getting mad if they lose. Like they be that type of competitive, man. Like they competitive on who could turn the TV off first. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, dog, y'all are competitive. Yeah, man. They they are super super competitive. They don't, man. They try to see who could open up like, you know what I'm saying? They little piece of Pop Tart or something like that first, man. I would just be dying laughing sometimes, man, and they be getting mad. Yeah, and then when they play, because they've been on roadblocks. Of course, they be playing their roadblocks and stuff like that, and they be getting into it. Sometimes I be having to take their tablet away and stuff. Now I haven't started them on video games yet, but not on having a controller and stuff like that. Wow. Oh, so you were Ted. But see, hey, I'm telling you, man, and the way they be going at it, man, I just be laughing, man. I'll be having to, I'll be really having to separate them two. But hey, hey, you best believe though, somebody mess with them or something like that, they be at the park. The way they stick up for each other, man, it'd be it'd be crazy. It's like damn, it's like y'all hate each other at home, but damn, when y'all get out here, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, you ain't gonna talk to him like that. You know what I'm saying? Only I can. But to get back on the Kawhi situation though, um, it is gonna, it's this series right here is pivotal if like they don't have a Kawhi that's 100%. You know what I'm saying? Because the Mavs, they are cooking right now. Now, shout out to the Pull Up Podcast with BJ, man. Go sub to his channel, man. I was on there, man, and I was listening in, man, and there was a guy on there. He was a Mavericks fan, and he was talking about how Luka has pretty much cooked the Clippers and all this other stuff. I mean, individually, yeah, he might have done, and I say okay in terms of his points, but the thing about it is, whenever he plays the Clippers, we have to understand this: Luka is 5-8 all time when it comes to the Clippers. Okay, so he has a losing record against them. Then on top of that, um, he's a negative 31. Okay, Kawhi is a plus 57, I think. Um, Kawhi is damn near a 50 at like a 50, 40, 90. Um, he's like at 58, 38, and 88. That's 58% from the field, 38 from 3-point line, and 88 from the line. Lucas was at 50. He was at like he was at 49, 30, 49, 39, but he's shooting 60% from the free throw line. And then Kawhi only averages like 2.2 turnovers. Luka is averaging like 4.8 turnovers. And the guy's argument was like, okay, yeah, he handled the rock a lot more in his usage rate, but yeah, if you're gonna sit up there and you're gonna average as many assists as you do, you know what I'm saying? You still gotta cut down on the turnovers, and really you shouldn't be handling the rock as much as you do, because that's how they were able to figure you out. Is because they just let you dribble yourself, dribble the air out of the ball, play that James Harden style, and then you're gassed until the at the third or the fourth quarter. Yeah, Luca averaged 34.99, but and Kawhi he averaged a little bit less than that, you know what I'm saying? But his team was winning. They're 8-5 against him. You know what I'm saying? Which one would you rather have? A guy sitting up there putting up big numbers, setting records against the Clippers and all this other stuff, but then to only lose? Whereas when it comes to the Clippers, they've always beat Luka. They've always, put him out. You know what I'm saying? And Luka has only been to one Western Conference final. Now, I'm not trying to make that. I'm not trying to make that argument, about just Luka versus the Clips. But that's what they were trying to make it. I'm looking at it from a team aspect, because you ain't nothing without your team. Now that you have a guy in Kyrie who could take that pressure off of you, and you have another ball handler, and then y'all are locked in on playing defense. Luka is playing better on defense. He's still not great on defense, but he's doing better. He's making an effort. Then you might have a chance. You might be able to get over the hump, and then you got those guys on there that we got to talk about. Like when we talk about Paul George, when we talk about Kawhi Leonard, of course, and then we talk about James Harden, and when we talk about Russell Westbrook, uh, all of those guys, what are they known, with the exception of Kawhi, what are they known as? They're known as not being able to get over that hump. Now, Paul George, he's been successful. He's been successful in the playoffs. He's made a couple of conference finals, but still, there's been some times when you couldn't rely on Paul George, you know what I'm saying, because of injuries or, him not showing up at the right time. Yeah, Norman Powell. And Norman Powell has a ring. I think people forget that. So, and then you got PJ Tucker on there. So, but it's all going to boil down to Bones Holland. Yeah, I got the Clippers in 6 because of the front court for the Clippers. Oh, because of the front court? So you're talking about, like, with Plumlee and all of them, and Zubac and all of them? Yeah, they if the Mavs can't beat them, then they're gonna be fool's gold. They're gonna be considered fool's gold. The Mavs are, and Luka's gonna get a lot of the smoke, especially with a first round exit. And Kid's job may be on the line. It may be on the line. I'm sorry to say, it may be on the line because they complained a lot about Jason Kidd at the beginning of the season. So they have to win this series. They at least got to get to the Western Conference Finals again. But it's crazy because a lot of people got Denver and Dallas being in the Western Conference Finals. I like Hardaway Jr., but he got to be consistent, man. Like I was saying earlier, he struggled. He been struggling, man. Got to play better. He got to play better. And Hardaway Jr. is one of those guys too, where you got to be like, okay, you got to wonder if he's gonna show up that game, because yeah, we could give Luka the smoke, we could give Kyrie the smoke, we could give all these other players the smoke and everything, even Jason Kidd from his coaching, we could give him the smoke, but you also got to look at Hardaway Jr. Hardaway Jr. has been there long enough. He is a veteran. He has experience, so people are holding his expectations to a higher standard. Yeah, so but yeah, man, I didn't want to talk too much, man. I just wanted to get at y'all to see what y'all felt about this situation involving Michael Porter Jr. and his brothers, and the poor decisions that made. You said Ty Lue is on the hot seat. You know, Ty Lue, you know, I'm not gonna get on Ty Lue too much, um, because you're dealing with guys, man, on the team too, man. That okay, some of them have been known to have poor execution down the stretch. You're dealing with, he may show up, he may not. You're dealing with, injury prone guys. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you never know what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? He's actually been dealt a bad hand, but if all your players are healthy, then okay, you don't really have any excuses. The only excuse that you may not have, well, that may be taken away from you, is the fact that they don't go out there and execute what you have drawn up. That's the only thing. It's sort of like when they played against y'all, Ted, and LeBron had brought LeBron and D'Lo. They brought him back in that fourth quarter. That right there, that didn't fall on Ty Lue. That was just poor execution down the stretch. They didn't have Paul George that game, and then they made like 3-4 turnovers, including two by Plumlee, man, in which I still can't get over. Two ill-advised turnovers, and then them not being able to work the two-man when it came to the pick and roll, whether it was Harden and Plumlee or it was him, Harden and Westbrook, missing shots or playing hot potato with the ball, and Kawhii not coming up big. That don't fall on Ty Lue. That didn't fall on Ty Lue. That fell on the players. And I know people are gonna say, "Oh well, they didn't have Paul George." You still got three other superstars. So that's no excuse. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna put Ty Lue on the hot seat as much. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you got a guy in Kawhi who's getting his knee drained and stuff like that. My thing is this: if you're ready to play for the Olympics, if you're ready to play in the Olympics, and you having your knee drained and stuff like that, which sometimes the media, they blow things out of proportion. You may just be having it because they talk about he having knee inflammation. It may not even be that big of a deal or whatever. He may go ahead and come out there game one. It's the same thing with Giannis too. It's the same thing with Giannis too. Giannis could pull a Willis Reed. Everybody like, oh man, what are we gonna do? To have that WWE feel. And then next thing you know, you got Giannis coming out there like Willis Reed, unbuttoning his warm up and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It could be a situation like that. So you never. I'm just saying they got to bring some sort of drama to. And then they talk about Dame Lillard. He's struggling with his hip situation and stuff like that. So they got to have something to talk about. But I think I have a crazy feeling that Giannis is gonna go ahead and he's gonna play. You know what I'm saying? Miami Heat playoff basketball is a real thing. Yeah, it is. Man, listen, man, and that's why I feel like when it comes to them losing Jimmy Butler, because uh, Miami, Miami, hold on one second. Yeah, because Miami got to play Chicago. Yeah, Miami got to play Chicago. So I was thinking about that earlier, how that may work out without Jimmy Butler. I think they could still win. I think Miami can still win because you got Tyler Hero, you got Bam. Bam is going to have to put up some more offense. Him having 10, 12 points, man, that's not going to cut it. Yeah, you getting rebounds and stuff like that, but Bam, we need you to score. They need you to score, man. So, yeah, man, this is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna be ready. Um, yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, Miami gonna kill, man. And like I said, it's the zone defense. Yeah, I said they can win it, and I'm talking about really the playoffs. That's what I was talking about. I know that they're gonna beat Chicago or whatever, but I'm talking about if they get in the playoffs. That's the main concern that I'm talking about. If provided that they don't have Jimmy Butler, because I already know that they're playing, but I'm ta- I'm banking on the fact that the Miami Heat are just going to go ahead and beat Chicago and go ahead and go to the playoffs. I'm looking forward to the playoffs for Miami. I already knew that they were going to win. You know what I'm saying? Chicago just don't have enough. It's a lot missing in Chicago. But yeah, I'm getting ready to go ahead and roll out, man. Make sure y'all like the video, share it, subscribe. Please share the video. Hit the notifications so that you are notified. Straight to the point, sports and entertainment, man. I'll get at y'all later.